I just don't know. I don't think it's going to be enough. And that's sort of the sad thing, because it was such a great season. And, like, you know, it was sort of, I'm trying to think, like, maybe in, like, 2000, between 2000 and 2010, and probably before 2010, probably 2006, 2005. I was still playing basketball growing up all the way through high school. And I liked the NBA. I loved basketball, but I liked the NBA. I loved college basketball more than the NBA because and I still almost do to this day. I still love college. It's kind of crazy how it shifted. When I was a kid, I kind of, I thought I could play college. I was like, oh, you can just go to any kind of school like that and, play college. And then, once you kind of get to 7th, 8th grade and, freshman year of high school, you kind of realize, you're not as good or not as tall or athletic as you need to be, be a D1 athlete, but maybe, D2 or D3. But then those aspirations kind of go to the wayside real quick. But at that point, you love college basketball, March Madness. It's the fans, the college game day, the shows, everything about it. And something about, like, when you, like, there's like a certain shift, I think, like, in that time where you kind of see what the NCAA is, how, like, they're making all this money from these schools, whether it's in programs like football, like the football program, how you see, like, LSU's making $56 million or something like that in a season a couple of years ago in the football program, just football alone, and that's enough to pay for all these other sports in a college's program, athletic program, that take losses. Like, almost every other sport, takes a loss, but the football program in these D1 schools, especially these big conferences, you see how much they make. And like, they do these football programs fund these other sports, and you kind of realize, obviously, the importance of them, especially with the TV deals and all that. But, like, you just see how much money is being made, and then you realize, wait, the athletes aren't getting any of it. It's just the NCAA, these random guys who, these random old folks who are, sitting on their couches at home, probably watching these games and, making all this money off these kids' backs. Like, that's not right. And there's that certain shift where you go from, where probably like 2005 to 2010, obviously. It's that 5-year period where I really shifted into being an NBA fan, and, and the NBA started to gain prominence on it. And then you see, like, the decline of the MLB a little bit with steroids and all that, with, when they're going through Congress or whatever, and Balco and Bonds, McGuire, all those guys, Sammy Sosa, he's that guy. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day. But no, you just, you kind of, you see where like your interest lies, I guess. And yeah, so I think, like, the NBA, this was like a banner year. I really believe so. And it was kind of like, I believe 2010, like, that finals when it was Lakers Celtics and Kobe Bryant's Lakers, versus Paul Pierce and KG. And, well, I shouldn't, RIP to Kobe, God bless. But yeah, it was Kobe and, like, Powell, the Lakers, and against, that was like an unbelievable series. I believe it was 7 games. And yeah, so, like, this, not to say that, like, the past few years of the NBA haven't been incredible, because this entire past decade has been, from 2010 to 2020. You really see how the NBA has made an incredible leap in popularity globally. Not just in the United States, but just globally. And just to see, how everything sort of evened out finally in, like, a dynamic duo way. How almost not every team, but the teams in major markets had great duos. minus the Knicks, because James Dolan can't get his shit together. But you know, most of the teams in these big markets and teams that even teams that aren't really ones that you consider like fan favorites, like you gain interest in them, like Dallas Mavericks, when you have obviously like the Mavericks, they do have fans for sure, but when you have a duo like Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, it's it's hard not to, like, I can root for him. I really could, and I'm not even and I do like Mark Cuban too. I respect Mark Cuban. He's a great owner. But yeah, just seeing some like a duo like that, and they're spread throughout the league, and just to see this NBA season cut short in such a way when it was bleeding and it was such a great build into the playoffs. It's a tough thing, and I don't know how. I don't know how they're gonna try to get back on track. I know that there's so many like discussions that I think that they're trying to have right now with should we whether it's have like a 5 or 10 or 15 game runway for the last regular season to try to get that local TV money, because that's the big thing in all this is the local TV money. You got to realize is that like they need that local TV money. I believe they hit 72 or 70 games. I believe it's 70 games to get that local television money, and that's how the owners make their money. A majority of the revenue, I wouldn't say majority, but a good amount of their revenue, and so they're trying to hit that mark, but at the same time, they don't want to run into that time where the NFL is starting its regular season and they have to compete against the NFL in ratings on TV, because then they won't earn as much, and you'll see that viewers, they'll obviously see a precipitous, I believe that's the correct word, a drop in viewers, and they're obviously aware of that, so they're trying to get it in, but I believe before August or September. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what their plan is, and to hold fans over. I don't know if the horse is gonna be enough. I don't know if this horse competition is gonna be enough. And I respect that. I respect the idea. I respect that especially who they have. I like Chris Paul and Trae Young and Zach LaVine. Like, those are all great players, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough, really. And it's sad to say, because like this season was so incredible, and just to have it end. But obviously, there are more important things. Obviously, not to make light of a pandemic, because you can't right now. You can't even really go outside of the house. That's why I'm doing this in my backyard, really. But you can't make light of a pandemic, but at the same time, like you can't even describe how much of a robbery I'm sure these players feel, and even fans. I'm sure how fans feel at this point. It's I mean, there's some decisions they're gonna have to make down in New York, and I'm sure Adam Silver, he's getting on to, I'm sure he's trying to get it together. But I'm trying to do this show a little more, often. I think right now, just with my setup, it's probably gonna try to be like a weekly thing. And even so, like, it's I'm still, as I mentioned earlier in the show, that I have to get my setup down a little bit more. But that's not even really what's most important right now. I think what was most important for me was just starting this, and just starting the second show. As you can see, even the sun's going down on me right now. we've lost light here a little bit. But no, it was just important to do the second show. And, I'm trying to find a way or ways to make it more unique and creative. Like, what can I do, like, for clips, and, like, what stories I can tell. I can tell any story I want, but I think of what, I'm trying to find just certain ways to put more content out, but at the same time, work my way up to getting a better production. That's why I want to have, like, one or two shows, probably one show really right now a week. And even at this point, a 45 minute show, I'm doing this all solo. I'm setting it up, obviously, and editing and putting it out. But, it takes a lot even just to do the 45 minute show. But that's kind of, I think that's, right now, that's kind of what my bare minimum. I'm trying to do at least 40 minutes, I think, right now. And even still, there's going to be times where, I think even 40 minutes, like, I don't even know if I'll even reach that, like half hour, but I thought I had my drink here somewhere. I know I have a drink around here. I keep licking my lips over here. I need a drink. What happened to it? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I just want to find a way to make it more creative and, separate myself kind of with just telling certain stories and having certain clips and, and even with my clips, I want to just, like, kind of almost introduce segments, sort of like what an actual, like, TV, what an actual TV show would do, almost not like a rundown, but just talk about certain topics, I guess. And in clip form, sort of outside of a podcast, like I'm doing now. And another one of my hopes was that I was really hoping to eventually have guests on. That's one thing that I think I would. I gotta tell you one thing about this low, I wouldn't even say low budget, because it's not really low budget. It really wasn't. And it really isn't, I should say. It's, one thing about it, though, is that, I kind of have to, you'll probably notice, I had to kind of break it up. I believe it's every, 12 minutes or 14 minutes. Just because the camera times out, I believe. At least the one I have right now at that point, but I got to actually get up and get a drink, so I'm going to keep going. I'm feeling refreshed and replenished. Shout out to, I believe it's Proper 12. Conor McGregor's Proper 12 there. No sponsorship yet. Hopefully one day, Conor, we can work that out. If you saw my 5 or 6 bottles on the room. What? No, but, yeah. I'm trying to, there's so many things I'm trying to do with this, and trying to make sure I haven't, definitely, certain clips, and, tell certain stories, and have certain segments, and talk about, a variety of things. I think I mentioned this in the first show. I want to talk about, sports and culture, comedy, entertainment, music. I want to do music reviews. I want to do music reactions. I want to react to new music that I haven't heard, or new music that was just released, or music that some of the people out there might recommend for me to react to or listen to, or review. I want to get into all this, and this is stuff that I've been trying to do for such a long time. And I think I did my initial. I think I did a reaction to Kids See Ghosts, the Kanye West and Kid Cudi collab album that they released in 2018. And I did a little reaction to that, and I thought I did it in my parents' basement at the time, and that was when I was really really gonna try to start living color, and then I kind of realized, you definitely need a mic, and you need, at least, a couple real, little things. And I was kind of far away from, that at that point, or even really planning or budgeting out for that. And, the idea was there, but to kind of react and review like albums and new music at the time, and it's something I'm definitely still trying to do, and I'm definitely gonna do a lot more. There's so much that's like happening though that it's hard to kind of keep track of it all, and it's not even with music. That's not even like there's no real like main focus of this. I guess the only main focus is to you know just to talk. I guess to talk with people and just express how I feel, and talk about just I guess life. Everything everything and anything. And one thing that I eventually want to do is eventually want to have guests on. I want to have like my friends on, and like people that I look up to, and I'm not really like planning on or expecting anything like that right now, but that's something I'm trying to eventually get started, and I hope to eventually like later this year, and I hope eventually sort of when this sort of slows down a little bit, that I can actually do that and have people on. But that's like a whole other thing I'm trying to figure out, is like if I were to have guests on, how would I do it? Would I have them in person, if they were in Colorado at the time potentially, or if it wasn't, if it was like virtual, would it be like an app, or anything like that. But another thing that I was I'm really trying to do, because I'm inspired by like a lot of different things. That's a lot of different shows really on the internet at this point. Way more so than TV, really. And it's kind of been like that for a while. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels like that, but I'm inspired by shows like Church of What's Happening Now with Joey Diaz and Lee Syatt. Shout out to those guys. Joe Rogan Experience, obviously. Brilliant Idiots, Andrew Schultz, Charlemagne the God. Shout out to those guys. A whole lot of Kill Tony. There's so many of them. Monday Morning Podcast, Bill Burr, even Your Mom's House. Tom Segura, all those guys. Tom Segura, Chris D'Elia, Fighter and the Kid. Brendan Schaub, Brian Cowan. Chris D'Elia. So many. Congratulations to Chris. There's so many podcasts like that, and those guys all inspire me, and I'm not trying to be one of them. I'm not trying to be like them, but I'm trying to take my I'm trying to kind of grab my inspiration from them, and then try to figure out how I can be new and unique, and kind of have my own lane, and that's sort of with like a variety of things, like in a variety of interests and topics, and like sports and comedy, entertainment, music, culture, whatever's happening in the world, all that kind of melted in one. And that's I think all those guys all have like this similar interest, kind of in one way or another. And I'm trying to find my I'm trying to just kind of hone my own, and figure out my own way in this. And I don't know how I'm gonna do this every week. That's kind of, but I think that's kind of the exciting thing, because even right now I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. Every kind of 12, 14 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, whenever that thing kind of clicks out, and I have to stand up and restart it and stop the recording, and get back to whatever I was saying, or try to remember whatever the hell I was saying before. I just kind of regroup, and I'm like, all right, yeah, it's kind of, it's kind of like a refresher, and that's kind of you know, what the nice thing is about the low budget at this point. But at the same time, I do, I have so many like my aspirations. One of them is to eventually live stream, because that was one of the reasons why I fell in love with like the Joe Rogan experience, so much like a few years ago. Was that he was going live with so many guests every day for hours, and they were just talking about anything and everything, and doing whatever they want and just having like a bunch of fun. And there was thousands of people watching it. It was amazing. And you felt like you were part of something special. And that's one thing about the live stream that I'm gonna eventually try to do. So, I'm excited to start this, and even still, like we're already up almost 46 minutes now, and there's no real time restraint for any of this. And eventually, what I wanted to do is eventually turn this into like my main career, and eventually like maybe tour live and do it places and have have guests and live, and eventually there's just so many ideas that I have for this. Like not only tour it and do it live, but also up on the deck. You can't really see at this point, but like with the view of Red Rocks, where I did like the first show at. Eventually I want to like kind of mix in a little bit of music there. Performing music. Because I play guitar. I play a lot of guitar lately. Past couple of years. Yeah, I know. Self-taught really, and I have like my little beat pad that I use Ableton with and can mix a little bit. And I want to eventually like go live with that, and then switch between doing like a show podcast for maybe however much time, 10-20 minutes, half hour, and then switch to music maybe for a music mix for 20-30 minutes, and then switch back to talking for 20-30 minutes, and then switch to music, and just like mix it in a whole lot. There's so many things that I want to eventually do with this that I'm excited just to get started and have like the ability and the time and like the aspiration. It's such a it is a lofty thing to try to do. I can't. It's easy to get down. I think with it. I think it's gonna be easy to get down, and it's obviously I kind of learned that by now. It's taken me forever even just to start this first and second podcast and show, whatever you want to call it. There's that word again. Every time, I'm not afraid to call it a podcast at all. If it were to be labeled that, I would love it. Because that's I feel like it's more important. That's a more important medium than radio right now. Radio is important. Don't get me wrong, and radio is really what when I went to college. Like I was talking about, earlier. When I went to college in 2011, trying to study broadcast media, I originally was like, I love TV and I want to be an anchor, but I want to have my own radio show. And I had my own radio show at WIUV at Castleton, Castleton University's radio station, 91.3 WIUV. And from all 5 years at Castleton, I had a radio show every Thursday night, and I would perform like a 3 or 4 hour mix. And I would, it's kind of what essentially like a earlier version of what I'm doing now, almost like to a T. I would perform. I would have like I would have a mic, and I have like the airwaves, obviously, big soundboard, and then I can have like just like they kind of like play you into like the time zone, or like it turns to dead air, it just turns silence, and then you come on, obviously, and I loved having a radio show. I would just talk and then just mix my music. I sometimes would play original WDY music, and I would just perform like a set every week, once a week, and I love and I miss it. I miss doing that. But at the same time, I'm trying to do exactly that, but in like a different form, and like a new and improved form. And that's what I'm trying to do with this. But it's gonna take a little while, and it's gonna look. I think it's gonna look. It is. It is. It's gonna take a little while, and it's gonna look a little weird. I think, no doubt, it is gonna look a little weird. As you can tell. I mean, I gotta adjust the lighting, and I'm doing it in my backyard with the valley shot here, and it's gonna look a little weird, but I wouldn't want to do anything else at this point, and I'm excited to start this. But I just thought I'd wrap this up with saying, I just hope that you're still being maintaining positivity at this point. I know it's hard being cooped up inside all this time, but I hope you're still trying to be positive, and trying to improve yourself, like finding things that you've wanted to do for a long time, or you've always wanted to do, and doing those, or just learning new things, or improving your life, and even if that means just getting outside and just walking around and not sitting on the friggin' couch all day, because even me, like, it's taken me a lot to even just do the second one here. Like, I could have just sat it was a beautiful day all day today, and I was just chilling on the porch and sipping a little bit, as I'm sure, but I don't know. I just hope that you're doing well and trying to still be happy and still be positive. But it's a wild time, and I'm sure it's only gonna get wilder. I know they keep saying, it seems like every other day they're saying, this is gonna be, the worst week, or this is a critical week. But you really do gotta listen to the medical professionals, and the people who've been doing this their whole lives and studying this stuff. You really gotta listen to those people, and listen to their advice. But at the same time, that can't stop you from living your life. That's the key. I think you gotta continue to improve yourself, continue to try to be happy, continue to maintain your positivity, and continue to do what you want to do, and use this time, like utilize this time as like a free time, or it's like time where they're just giving it to you to here's time where that you've been working hard all these years. Here's this time where you can finally use it to do what you want to do. I know you can't go anywhere. I know you can't leave the house, but if you're in your house and you got stuff that you've always wanted to do, that you can do in your house, do it now. Like maybe learn a language, anything. Like learn guitar, anything. Play guitar. Do whatever do. Even if that could mean just sitting on your ass and sitting on the couch or whatever. It doesn't matter. Do what you want to do. But that's it, and that's that. You just gotta be positive, keep being happy, and I'm gonna try do the same. I'm gonna try to be happy, try to be positive. I know it's tough for me, it's not easy for me either, but I think now more than ever, it's about doing what you want, and not settling, and not just getting down and being down all the time, because it's easy to be down. You can be down all, you could be down your whole life if you want. You could just be bummed out and woe is me and sit around on the couch, or you could just use this time, do what you've always wanted to do, or just do relax or recoup, anything, just anything. So that's it. That's that. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're, like I said, I hope you're happy. I hope you're staying positive, and I hope to catch you again soon. I hope to record again soon here in the coming days again. I hope. But until the next time I see you, I'm gonna sign off here. Take care of yourselves. Be happy. Be positive. And that's it. That's that. Take care of yourselves. Signing off here. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Good night.
you don't stop. And you don't stop. And you don't stop. Yes, yes, y'all. And you don't stop.